Okay, got something different here now. In the past, I think we've done, well, we did the flat style earbuds of Moondrop, but we haven't done too many Moondrops. And here we have the Moondrop Chu in this beautiful case, by the way. Here's a look at the specs on it. Here is the pouch that it comes in. Right here, comes in this kind of weird material. I don't know what this is made out of. I've had something like this material before. It's almost like a flannel type material, a little Moondrop thing. Looking at the specs for this, we have a 10 millimeter double cavity dynamic driver. The diaphragm is titanium plated. It's got a CCAW coil, N52 high density magnetic circuit, patented anti-blocking filter, sensitivity is 120 decibels, impedance is 28 ohms, frequency response 10 to 35 kilohertz. And that's basically the information, but it is actually a lot of more information than I usually see on the back of things. And there you have the graph for it as well. So I'm going to put that off there. We're going to open this up. This, of course, is a fixed cable, which I really wish it wasn't. Honestly, I really wish this wasn't a fixed cable. There could have been so many different mods and things I could have done with this. Where are the tips in here? I think I probably dropped the other one. Okay. So the tips, we'll go over the tips. It's got these Moondrop tips, spring tips. Very interesting. Very wide open tips. I love the look of them too, by the way. I don't know where that tip came from. I must have been looking into that tip, but these are the chips that it comes with. You get a whole set of these in the box, and you get this pouch. And of course you get the cable, which is rubberized material. Doesn't seem to be too tangly, so that's good for it. You get a nice L shape, and it's narrow enough that it'll fit inside your phone. So that's excellent as well. A little thing there. You get this nice splitter with the Moondrop logo. Traveling. This cable, honestly, it doesn't feel like it. I'm just saying, it's not cheap like that. It looks with the stripe, that reminds me of my first KZ. But it is a much softer, better material. Then we get into the Chu themselves. Left and right indicators. You see there's the nozzle. On the back, this nice design here. It's this, just screams Moondrop. This whole, the way it's designed, the matte black and everything. I'm wondering if they're going to come out with a purple kind of sparkle version. But overall, I really wish this was removable. If it was, I would have thought these would appeal to even more people. But you have to understand that these are, relatively low priced. So that said, these are effectively $25 to $19 right now. $19 is the cheapest I've seen them so far. Solidly built. It's got a nice bunch of accessories. Excellent tips. The tips alone cost more than a device costs, so it's worth it just getting it for the tips. They're relatively easy to drive. And the only con I can think of is the non-detachable cable. That's about it. These definitely are not for bass heads. These are essentially neutral sounding. They may have some coloration to them, but for the most part, I think these are probably the most neutral ones. Not only that I've heard in a while, but in this price range. Assuming that you're getting them for $19.99, I don't think I've ever found anything that was neutral like this. And if you like the neutral signature, this is going to be totally something you like. Definitely no ifs, ands, or buts. These have a very nice sound to them. Vocals, certain music in general sounds fantastic with these. Other genres of music, not so much. So, it's going to be hit or miss with people. Some people are going to come into this and they're going to want the V shape, and they're just not going to like these at all. And other people are going to respect this for the sound. I, of course, a bass head, like the V shape. I like harmony tuning, and just balanced, well balanced, and everything. I'm not quite used to the neutral. I do have some headphones that are neutral, but in general, not used to the neutral. And that said, though, these do perform very well. See if I can get my notes here. Okay, so we'll start with the bass. With the stock tips, of course. Bass is basically neutral. It does have, a noticeable, little kick there of bass, but ultimately the bass is neutral. It's not going to impress anybody that's looking for bass. It's there. It's got detail. It is quality bass, but ultimately, bass heads are just going to say a no with this. Just wanted to get that out there. Now, do I like these? Yeah, I'll give you a spoiler. I like these for what they are. For certain types of music, they're excellent. So getting into the mid-range. The mid-range is definitely not warm at all. I wouldn't so much as call it cold either, but it is very, very neutral in the mid-range. Excellent transparency. It's clear. There's a good clarity there. There's good detail there. And just honestly, it seems forward. Now, I've noticed in some devices and some things you get a little shouty in the upper. Maybe because it's just so neutral, almost cold, but not quite. Looking at the treble is definitely, and the mid's also a little bit on the boosted side, but nonetheless, very good mids, very, very good mids indeed. Looking at the treble is definitely good. There's some good extension there. It does extend well, so I don't know. I wouldn't say that it's going to cause treble sensitive people problems, but then again, that's going to depend on what equipment you're using and, how sensitive you are and what are you listening to. Obviously, if you're listening to violins and your equipment is just really just bright to begin with, then it might be like that. Soundstage imaging sounded very good on this. Definitely good layering. It's got good accuracy there. Overall, it just sounded very good. That's basically all I put for the thing. We've had some time with these, so we've given them time to burn in and everything else. Overall, it's a very good kind of a neutralish pair. There is some brightness to it. Love the look of it, and these are tiny. They're not. I know they look like the average one that's out, and they look like they would be bigger, but they're not. They're tiny for your ears. So comfort, isolation, very good with these as well. Yeah, you could probably get away with sleeping with these because of the nice flat design there. It does have ear hooks that you can put on. I really don't like them, so I didn't use them. And you get, of course, the different pairs of the spring tips, which them alone are worth the $20 of the price. I have not experimented with other tips or anything else. Obviously, we're not going to be doing any cable changing. I really would have liked. There is a mod out, by the way, to change the cable. But honestly, for $20, they are what they are. And I don't know. There are a few pairs that I probably like better, but if I'm looking for a neutral pair, I can't think of anything else that I could use better for like that type of listening session. And I do have those. I mean, there's a lot of listening sessions that I have to do, the test equipment and stuff. If I was looking for something fun to listen to, I can think of a bunch of different things, but if I'm listening to something that I want to not only have some enjoyment, but have some nice neutrality and listen and, kind of do a fun kind of critical thing going on, these would definitely be at the top of the list. And I love the way these look. So, and this is all metal, by the way, too. They got a little bit of weight, but not too much overall. You won't even notice they're in your ears. Anything else? I'm not going to do any comparisons yet with these. I want to have them for a little bit longer. So obviously when you get in the budget, you have some kind of compromises with things. Some things do things well and some things do things not so well. And ultimately, if you're looking for something that is kind of neutral, has decent technicalities, is not the greatest technical thing. Now, of course, I'm coming off of still testing the Moondrop Blessing Chu, so that's an $300, $400 pair against $20 pair. So I mean, I should have given myself a little bit more time testing the things, but ultimately, kind of neutral. It's kind of a neutral, kind of a drier sound signature. Bass is just a detail. It's not really a thumpy bass. It is there with details to enjoy. Definitely some good quality there. Not a lot of quantity. So bass heads, no. This is a no for you bass heads. You won't like this one. And of course the non-detachable cable. Other than that, for $20, decent technicalities, not the greatest there, but still decent technicalities and very good build quality. And like I said, it is neutral and it is exceptional when you're talking about like the vocals. They are just really just good sounding vocals. You get a lot of detail there as well. And the treble has some decent sparkle and detail with it as well. So overall, they are what they are. I think a lot of people will like these. Let's get a look at the packaging and the graph again. There's your graph. If you know, you know. Decent specs. At 28, it should be driven by a phone pretty well. But ultimately, I think maybe a dongle at the very least with this. Should probably be paired with a warmer kind of source. I think that it would do better. And I think that the spring tips, as amazing as the spring tips are, I think that the spring tips will be better off served on another earphone. And I think I would put something like this on it, which is a little bit narrow bore. And just to kind of clean it up, maybe even foam tips on these. But other than that, yeah, it's definitely decent for the price. I mean, $20, can't go wrong with that if that's what you're looking for. Like I said, if you're looking for bass, don't come back and say, oh, these horrible, there's no bass there. I can hear it, but I can't feel the punch. That's because it's neutral. Almost leaning toward flat, to be quite honest, with the bass. And not anemic. I mean, it's there enough to know that it's there, but it is definitely not its strong point. Mids and, just overall cleanliness of the sound, definitely its strong point. Decent sound stage, decent mids, decent treble, and the bass, kind of neutral. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this video was informative. And this has been the Moondrop Chu. Very good for the price. I mean, you can't go wrong, and especially with all these accessories, too, that it comes with. Thank you so much for watching. Be safe.